When you're authentic to who you are, everything else will fall in place. People are gonna love, they're gonna hate, but you never know who's watching.
Everything I do, I want it to be as original as it can be.
Somebody did it like this, I'm gonna do it this much iller.
Who comes back and rescues himself?
This was our moment to let people know how we felt as a team.
We've revolutionized this game with our influence.
Welcome to What's Burnin', and look who we got here, Mr. Finals MVP himself, Paul Pierce.
What up?
And four-time All-Star, two-time Olympic gold medalist, friend of all of ours, DeMarcus Cousins. Boogie, welcome. You are no stranger to the Showtime basketball family, but making it a little bit more official now as you also still keep in shape and are ready to get back in the league.
Absolutely.
What's the balance here between your burgeoning media empire and your...
I'm full dad mode now, so I've been enjoying that. This is the first time in my career where I've had the opportunity to just be at home, watching my kids grow, drop them off at school, pick them up. So I've embraced that role, and it's really been dope for me. Just trying to stick to my same basketball skills, lifting, playing some type of, 5-on-5 daily, just to keep my motor running and be in that game shape. So just trying to maintain all of that and be ready when my name is called.
This man is still in his early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have done so much in this league. People forget that.
Mm-hmm.
But does your body feel, I mean, you haven't been taking the pounding you did during a regular season.
Right.
So how do you feel in terms of what you still have to give? And
I feel great. I got a lot left in the tank.
Mhm.
I'm 100% healthy. I've taken about 4 years also. I'm 32, but I'm really about, I'm a couple years young. I'm really 29 right now.
All right,
so.
all right, we'll give you that. Paul likes to say he's 29 too, but he's not. He is.
Never grow old. Never grow old.
Well, I'm glad we have you here. While we have you here, with the full expectation you'll be catching on somewhere at some point, and you'll just do this from the road, so it'll be fine, like Draymond and CJ McCollum. So it'll be all good. I do want to talk about one of your former teams to start, and y'all were arguing about this before the cameras even started rolling, which tells you how real this discussion is. All right, the Bucks have won 14 games in a row as we all sit here.
Yeah.
The Celtics, they did lose on Monday, so that actually put Milwaukee into first place. But God, this is like as close as it can be when you compare these two teams, championship chances. I want to break down their starting five for you guys. So we put the fives up here in the studio. Let's just start with Boogie. Who's the best player on the court? When these 10 guys are on the court, we'll show them up on the screen too. When you've got these 10 guys on the court, who's the best player on the court?
That's easy, Giannis.
Do you think that's true?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Giannis is the best player in the league.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's the best
Matt
player.
Barnes was in here the other day. I believe he said he thought Jason was better.
I mean, just the way Giannis affected the game. I mean, I'm a Celtic fan. I love the Celtics. But, I mean, in all honesty, Giannis is a two-time MVP. He's in his prime. He dominates both ends of the court. I mean, nobody is doing the things he's doing on both levels, on both sides of the ball equally like him. So I'll give him the edge.
All right, so Giannis number one, Jason Tatum number two. We
Yeah,
can all
just-
agree.
yeah.
Who's the third best player on the court?
Third best player.
You better not go there and say Drew.
I think it's a toss-up.
No.
I honestly think it's a
Ain't
toss-up.
no toss-up.
Let the man say what he
All right,
thinks.
go
That is
ahead.
why he is
I know
here.
what he gonna say though.
I told you they were arguing before we even started. I told you.
Nah,
Keep it 100. Come on.
yeah, I'm going with Drew Holiday as the third best player on the floor.
I knew he was gonna
Drew
say
Holiday.
Tell us
Without
why.
question. The things
I mean, you played
He
with
played
him.
with Drew.
he's been my teammate,
Yes.
so I know from experience on one note. But the things that this guy does on the court
Mhm.
that go unnoticed, like obviously we have a defensive player of the year in Marcus Smart,
Right.
but that's cool. But for me, it's like levels to it.
Okay.
And once you play these guys on a personal level,
Mhm.
you know, like, man, I got Drew Holiday in front of me today, or I got a certain guy.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday is that type of guy where it may not show up on the stat sheet, it may not show up in the highlights, but you had a long night in front of you.
So okay, Marcus Smart is on me versus Drew Holiday is on me. Drew Holiday is the one that worries you a
I'm
tad
worried
more.
about Drew Holiday.
Ooh.
And I'm not, and that's not taking any
Ooh.
shots at Marcus Smart, because
Yeah.
he's one.
No, I know.
He's a top defender in the league.
Marcus Smart's your
He's
kind of
just
guy,
not-
so I know that you're not taking any shots
Yeah.
at him.
He's just not Drew Holiday on the defensive end.
All right, Paul.
I mean, I respect Drew, no doubt about it. I played against Drew, and You know, I just like how his game is mature. Even at this stage of his career, he's still making the All-Star game.
Yeah.
But the third best player is Jaylen Brown. I mean, he's younger, athletic. He's entering his prime. No, he's not a champion like Drew, and he hasn't been in those moments. So I get why, you know, Boogie will say that because of the moments Drew's been in and the competition. And he has respect around the league. I know that, Drew. Every guard say, you know, from guys like Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, they all respect Drew. But I'm going with the younger, up-and-coming all-star Jaylen Brown. So that's an advantage right there. They got the third best player on the court when they match up.
All right. Well, he thinks that Boogie thinks that the Bucks have the first and third best player on the court. You're saying they have the second and the Celtics have the number 2 and 3.
I think they have the first and fourth, which makes this a great matchup.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
That part we can agree.
All right. So I'm sure Boogie put Jaylen Brown right after
absolutely.
Drew, right? Okay. So now let's go to the other guys on the court. You've got Al Horford, Robert Williams for the
This
Celtics.
is where it gets interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
for the Bucks.
I'm waiting to see what your answer is.
Oh,
All right, so look.
I know mine.
All right, look. So when you talk about Brook Lopez
Exactly.
and Robert Williams,
Yes.
yeah, Brook Lopez, yeah, he is the better player. But Robert Williams can defend him. Like, is he a better offensive player? Yes. But Robert Williams can defend him.
You know who that guy is.
Al Horford can defend him.
You know who
No, I know Brook. Brook is nice.
You know who that
I know
guy
Brook is nice. I know Brook is nice, but they got defenders for him. Like, he's not going to dominate.
It's shot blockers.
I was gonna say.
And then it's defenders. We know
They got Al Horford, the defender, Robert Williams, the shot blocker. They got both. That's why. See what I'm saying? That's
Robert
why this
Williams is
matchup.
a for sure shot blocker.
Yeah, and Al Horford is a defender.
I don't know. Is Al Horford going Brook Lopez or is Al Horford going Giannis?
They going. You know how they mix it up.
Yeah, it's not a mix-up. You got to figure this out.
say.
It's not a mix-up. that mix-up can change this whole season.
I mean, can't nobody really guard dude though.
But you can't trust the young
do in the
fella with him
playoffs?
because he is a shot
Well,
blocker.
Al Horford gonna give more physicality.
That's
He
fine.
ain't gonna just run through him.
Hey, that's
And
fine.
then when he go by Al
He's gonna
Horford,
go through him.
he gonna go through, and then Robert gonna be there to beat that up.
No, because Brook Lopez is out there spreading the floor, shooting 40 from the arc. That's where it gets tricky.
Yeah, that's where it gets tricky. Then we're gonna have to go with Grant Williams. Then we're gonna have to go small.
Yo. That's not gonna work against Giannis and Brook Lopez.
I mean,
that's
can't
not gonna
nobody guard Giannis.
And that's why
we
I'm
giving
saying
you
what
that.
I'm saying.
So let's just say nobody guard Giannis. We gonna give him his 35.
Okay.
We can't let him get 18.
No, he will give you 20.
No, we can't let that happen.
I was gonna say, you guys
the season Brook Lopez is
No,
having,
he's not
it's
even
been
averaging 20.
So
Hey,
how are
man,
you
when
guys?
we get off this set, let's go look up those
Come on,
numbers. He's having a great
giving
season.
you like
You don't have to
15.
wait.
He's
Producer
having a
Nate
great
can
season.
help you out.
Man, what's
By the
them
way,
numbers
where is
say?
Chris
Fact
Middleton?
check.
Where is Chris Middleton in this discussion? By
We haven't got there yet.
okay,
We ain't got there
okay,
yet.
so you think that of all the guys you've talked about, Chris Middleton is underneath on the list of best players on the floor?
He the fifth
think-
best player.
And the reason I'm saying I can say that
Mhm.
confidently, and the reason why
Mhm.
is, Chris battled some injuries this
Yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah.
He's still kind of finding
Yeah,
He's still working his
I
way
think
back.
he's going to be a very, very important piece once the playoffs
Playoffs
start.
start.
He still has 20 plus games to get his rhythm, but
Yeah.
once that puzzle,
Then the equation changes a little.
I'm leaning towards Milwaukee taking this out of the East. Anyway,
But this the thing. Grayson Allen now. What you gonna do with him? How you gonna
He's
hide
gonna
him?
do his job.
How you gonna hide him?
Hide him.
You gonna have to hide him.
Nah, I play with Grayson.
You gonna have to hide him.
No, you don't.
Man, what?
No, you don't.
You gonna have to hide
He
him.
gonna do his
Who he
job.
gonna guard? Who he guard?
Marcus Smart.
All right, pick and roll. All right, Marcus, come set this pick. I got Tatum. Okay, switch.
That's
all right, that's
fine.
how that's how that game worked.
I
Now
mean,
he,
that's
he a
what the scout
liability.
report for.
He-
We
he-
waiting for the side step.
He gonna be
three.
He gonna be a liability. They gonna have to find somebody who can. He's athletic, 6'7", wings out here. He gonna be a liability. And it showed what they played last year. Went to Game 7. He caught some of that 40 piece that Tatum gave.
All right, so if we get that again, no disrespect to Philadelphia, but if we get an Eastern Conference Finals, Bucks, Celtics, who wins?
I think whoever go.
No. Who wins, Paul Pierce? Give me this. I think no.
This is Styles make fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Whoever got the home court advantage is gonna win.
You really think that that's that big a deal?
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
I can agree. That is huge.
So
But
whoever
I don't-
has Game
in
7?
this series, it
Whoever
doesn't
has
matter.
games.
Okay, so you think the Bucks
I
are?
think the Bucks are taking it.
Ooh, I think we got our swag versus them last year. I think it was a doubt
What's
before that
last year got?
because they put them out the playoffs.
What that got to do?
That
with
give you that
anything?
confidence though. Like, when you walk in the gym, like we know we can,
could beat this team.
like when you
Man,
match
this
up with
two
certain
coaches later.
think about
This
guys.
This two coaches. What's
It
that
don't
mean?
matter.
Like,
It's the same players.
man.
Think about this.
I don't
when
think
you
they got
played,
better from last
when
year.
you played and you knew who was guarding you, you knew you gave him buckets, right?
I don't think they got better from last year.
Who? Celtics?
I don't.
I mean, the numbers are better.
What? Malcolm
Scoring
Brogdon?
wise,
You see, yeah.
personnel wise, they
Our
put
bench,
some pieces in it.
our bench.
The benches improved as well. With your 2-star guys, have they gotten better?
Yeah, Jason Tatum's averaging 30.
Yeah, their numbers have gone up. Have they gotten better with making people around them better? Which has always been the problem.
Yeah, Malcolm
Those two
Brogdon
guys
is going to be.
You
Sixth
talking
man
about
of
a
the
bench
year.
guy? You talking about a bench?
Well, who you
guy.
want? What you want
Are
from
your
them?
2-star players better from last year with getting others involved and making them better?
It's not about making them better. It's the team is better. The team
How's
is
the team better if your 2-star
because we got the
players
best
don't make you
record because they
better?
got the best record in the league.
Man, regular
All right.
season and playoffs are two different stories.
Yeah.
All
brother.
right. Well, what I
Yeah.
like about this argument
We know that.
is that we're going to get
We
to
know
see.
that.
I can't wait to see this.
Regular
I was gonna
season
say-
is going through the motions.
This
We're
gotta
gonna
happen.
we're gonna get to
Hey,
see.
hold on though.
Okay.
Since you Milwaukee on, we got a bet. We got
Okay,
a
all
bet,
right. So
bet
what's the
steak
Milwaukee
dinner or
Celtics
something.
bet? What do you got?
What's
Dinner?
that?
Bet,
All right.
bet a steak dinner.
All right.
It's a bet.
So the three of us are going to dinner, and one of you is paying. Do you see how I did that? Do you see how I did that? That was fantastic. And that's a vet move right there.
For sure.
I got to get your take on Dallas as well, you guys, because the Mavericks choked away that 27-point lead a few days ago. And look, sometimes teams have bad nights, right? I wouldn't be talking about this
Us
days
got
later,
bad.
except head coach Jason Kidd, and I want to quote him exactly. This is how he put it. He said, "There's a deeper issue. The team needs to grow up," was his quote. He also noted that players are too busy arguing calls, sometimes while they're running back up the floor, that you see the shoulder slump when they don't think that they got the right call, that kind of thing. Luka, of course, has been criticized for this in the past. Luka was asked about it after the game about what Jason said. Luka said, "Well, I don't disagree with him. And I don't know how they're going to eventually end up with Kyrie, but right now, Luka and Kyrie together when they play are 1-3. So that's sort of the Dallas situation.
Mhm.
Paul, if you heard your coach in public say this team needs to grow up, you were a leader in your locker room, what would your reaction have been?
I mean, obviously that's a shot at Luka. I mean, but he knows that. He's told this to Luka because Luka got to understand that as the leader of the team, that's going to filter down to the other players. You know what I'm saying? And so he doing it all the time. The other players feel like they can do it. I mean, I think as far as the team goes, I think they just need more time together to figure out their
I agree.
chemistry.
Yep.
You know, I'm not really worried about that early. I mean, of course, you say Kyrie and Luka, you like, oh damn, that's gonna be lit. But
They need
they
to figure
just
out
need
their
some
defense
time.
is what they need to figure
Well,
out. But yes.
That's not gonna be them. They not. You can't just turn the defense around. They got to figure out how to outscore people.
Yeah.
That's just who they got to be.
Okay, so but if you're Luka and you have been in that position on a team and you hear that, because you're right, Jason Kidd, by the way, he's been around the way. He does not say that publicly if he has not said it privately a
Yeah, for
bunch,
sure.
right? You hear that publicly. Do you get angry? Do you get hurt? Do you get determined? Do you get what do you get?
Respect it.
You respect
You
it?
respect it. It's coming from J Kidd as well.
Okay.
Championship guard, done it
Yep.
at the highest level.
Hall of
Done it in
Famer.
all ways. You respect it.
Right. And what about arguing with the officials,
Oh,
Mr.
man.
DeMarcus Cousins?
Man,
If
I
we're
need
gonna
both
get
sides
into
of the
that,
story. I need both sides of the
if we're
story.
gonna get into that territory, I mean, you've obviously look. I covered you your whole career. You have had all kinds of. There's different kinds of run-ins you've had with referees.
Absolutely.
But this specific way of where you feel you are not on the court getting the calls. And I've seen you. You've done some of that sometimes where your shoulder slump and you just, you're
We're
still
all
arguing
victim
as you
of
go
it,
up the
yeah.
court. So, what advice do you have for Luka if you feel like, because Luka legit, I've talked to Luka about this. He legit feels he is not getting the calls he should get.
And I can relate. And with that being said, it's just really got to get to a point where you eventually just get over it because it's gonna happen. It's gonna every game they're gonna miss calls.
Right.
Yeah.
And as a player, I know how it is on both sides because it's like that shit is frustrating as hell. And I was having this conversation earlier. It's where it's like somebody is telling you to let somebody punch you in the face 10 times and you should just ignore it.
Real, is that what it feels like?
It does. Like, man, just ignore it.
Right.
Well, this is happening every day. Like,
Right.
At what point am I, so, but that being said, finding a way to get over it and keeping the main goal in mind, which is winning the game, man. The only way you can win the game is when your best player is locked in.
But I will say this: it becomes an issue when you lose.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're winning, nobody is talking about that.
Right.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
Like that's when,
But it
like,
contributes to losing.
Yeah, but
They
like
weren't
say they
waving
win
on
it. Like, I mean, I see LeBron always at the refs.
Yeah.
He's a winner, so nobody really say nothing about LeBron
Right.
doing that a lot. So when you in a position where you haven't won yet or you're losing games, then it gets magnified. We all know that.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, look, there's still going to be one of the most interesting teams to watch down the stretch
Oh
here.
yeah, definitely.
I don't think Dallas is a finished product. Like
No.
they like what
I don't
he
think
was
they
saying.
think that either.
I think they found their two core guys in Luka and Kai, and for the next 2 years they're going to be trying to build a championship contender.
Right.
This isn't a finished product.
This is the discussion we're going to have in a couple months: is can they keep Kyrie Irving?
Yeah,
But that's a
I think
discussion for
Kyrie might
another
be
day,
out of
my
the
friend.
NBA.
Really?
That's why you subscribe to the What's Burnin
Phoenix.
podcast.
Lakers.
Lakers? I'm thinking Phoenix.
Let's go back to the East because I do want to hit the Hawks. Nate McMillan has moved on. They have moved on from Nate McMillan, and they have hired Quinn Snyder. Quinn, as we know, led the Jazz 6 straight playoff appearances. Atlanta's 31-30. They sit at 8th in the East. If you're Quinn Snyder and you're coming in, is there anything in particular that you think, okay, I'm going to change this, and this will help us at least somewhat this year?
Well, I mean, Quinn has got to adapt to his stars.
Okay.
Like that's how the league is. That's how it's always going to be. You got to coach predicated on how your stars play. So it's okay. We're going to get the ball to DeJounte Murray and Trae Young and let them go right now. It's too late in the season to put a whole new system. You're going to put some wrinkles in things and stuff and maybe some things you can do defensively. But sometimes a new coach, the writing was on the wall for Nate McMillan. Because when Trae Young, when your star player is like sitting down, he quitting on you and doing all this stuff, sometimes that new coach bring a breath of fresh air. And they look like a better team, actually, as I've seen the last couple games. And so sometimes that helps. And I think they will be better.
I think Quinn will come in and, piggyback off what Paul said. Obviously, this year, it is what it is. They'll finish out however they finish out. But I do feel like it'll be a system put in place, a system that's positive for everybody involved, the whole starting five. I think the biggest thing for them and what kind of changed for them being a good and bad team is I felt like they kind of lost the big fella in John Collins. He's been in trade rumors every year. We as players know what that's like.
Yeah.
It can bother your confidence. It can bother your rhythm. It can put you in the funk. And me personally, I am a fan of the big fella. I think he's very talented, and I think he's an important piece to them, getting over that hump to becoming that winning team. So I think Quinn will do a good job with, finding a place for him within that offense because obviously your two heads of the snake are Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. So fixing that core, I think they'll be on the right path.
I mean, there's a lot, I think, left to leak out from Atlanta. There's a story someone's going to tell in a year or two about everything that went on in that locker room over the last year or so. Nate McMillan, super respected coach around the league, but what is it like when you don't get along with the coach or there's more getting behind the scenes than people know?
Man, this is a players' league. Like you got, it's a new age, it's a new day. These new stars, they ain't playing. If you ain't getting along with your star player, you out of there. Because I mean, who's selling the tickets? Ain't the coach. Who's selling the jerseys? Who making the All-Star games? It ain't the coach. And so that's the most important thing: having that relationship with your star players. And when that started to crumble, and I've seen it over so many years of being in the league, and when you don't get that relationship with your star players, then you might as well put one foot out the door because it's coming. That axe is coming. And whatever was going on between them, once I saw that writing on the wall when he didn't step out there in that game or that practice, I was like, it's over for him.
Yeah.
He didn't come, Trae did not come to the introductory press conference for Quinn Snyder. I don't know. At some point, are we reading too much into too much? I mean, he might have, been taking care of his kid or something. I have no idea. So
he don't have to come to that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Here in LA, closer to home, just when things look like they were getting better for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, man.
LeBron is out indefinitely with a foot injury. And look, I know LeBron's injury was a heartbreak moment for a lot of Lakers fans, but the man is 38 years old.
Yeah.
And while he is clearly still near the top of his game, setting records, 38-year-olds are not as durable as 28-year-olds. And I want to throw you guys some numbers. Over LeBron's first 15 seasons, he missed 71 games total. In the last 5 seasons with the Lakers, he's missed 98 games and counting, of course, because we've got these games coming up. So, Boogie, you're only 32, but you've dealt with a lot of injury issues. Paul, you're very old, and you retired when you were 39. So you went through this, a little bit of what LeBron is going at. What is it like for both of you guys when you are used to your body being durable and then it's not anymore?
Jesus, man. It's a reality check
Yeah.
for sure, because you can go through consistently for years and kind of develop this mindset that you're invincible until you experience that first heartbreak, and it's like I said, the reality kicks in. But that's still separate from the guy we're talking about. Like, he's the prime example of longevity.
Yeah.
And I mean, with all greatness, it comes to an end eventually. And hate to say it, but this guy is 38. He's been around the league for 20 years,
Yep.
and his end is coming near. So this is just a product of his ending coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough at that age. Shoot,
Yeah.
I remember at 38, it was just tough for me getting out the bed.
Right.
I used to have to put shoes on just to go to the bathroom.
What does it even mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm clearly missing something. What does that mean? You had to put shoes on to go to the
His feet
bathroom?
hurt.
My feet hurt. My feet would hurt.
Yeah.
Had plantar fasciitis.
Oh, my
I mean,
Tell me they were at
shoot.
least slides.
Nah, real tennis shoes.
Are you
right there.
serious?
My Air Force Ones right there next to the bed.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. It was a couple years I had to put shoes right
Damn.
next to the bed just to walk 10 steps to the bathroom.
See what these
I
players go
couldn't walk
through?
barefoot.
It was the same way for me with my Achilles.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk
I
barefoot.
had to wear sneakers in the house.
Yeah, I couldn't walk
The floors,
barefoot.
my feet were too sensitive for the floors.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
See, these things I didn't know
Like little
because
stuff
I am
like
5'4" and will never have these problems.
Mhm.
No, I mean the reason why I'm asking a little bit about this is that we have this image. To your point, we have this image about LeBron as sort of just kind of
Indestructible.
indestructible,
Right.
right? I mean, he even has ad campaigns where it's like LeBron versus Father Time and LeBron wins, like
Right.
all of that stuff. I think you have to be realistic. Like here's a fancy graphic that Nate
Ooh.
Bronson, our producer, like you have to be realistic about how many games LeBron can play a season now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it
I
is.
think too, this is the time where they like, look, LeBron wants to play for championships.
Yes.
And he pushed himself. He played through this injury that we've been hearing about.
Yes.
All the way through. And he's at the point he passed the Kareem record. I know that was an important thing
Mhm.
for him. So he pushed through those injuries. And it's like at the point in the season to where he like, you know what, I'm not good with just fighting just to make the play-in game
Mhm.
or the playoffs. I'm not going to put my body through this because he's looking down the road now. So let's just say he played through it and they make the play-in. He's not playing for that. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to get my body all the way healed. There's no need for me to push through this just to make the play-in. We're not a championship team as
I don't know.
constructed.
I see. I'm going to disagree with you. I think he thinks if they can get into the play-in and he's playing, he thinks they can beat anyone. That is, I mean, I've heard him say it. I mean, you worked out for that team recently. Do you think, Boogie, that the Lakers have the grit to, first of all, maintain without him, and then whenever he does come back, if they can get into the play-in to
That's
make
the
some
key word.
Grit.
Do they have the grit without LeBron? I don't think
No.
so.
No?
I don't think so. I think he's the engine to that team, which is crazy to say because he's literally the oldest guy on the team. But do they have the grit? I don't think they do.
We
I
saw
think
Anthony Davis step up earlier in the season when LeBron
I'm
was
not
hurt.
speaking about talent.
No, I know.
Your word was grit.
It was.
Yeah.
Nah,
No?
grit isn't something that I see from that Laker team.
All right. Well, another
Without LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's another topic we'll shelve for a future What's Burning episode is if they don't make the playoffs, to your point about he's playing for championships.
Man, he could get
How
it
does
up for
this
his son.
affect LeBron in LA? We'll talk about that down the road too. Time for On the Radar, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. See, there's so much ahead for us on What's Burning. You just got to hang out every week with us. Pacific Division, let's talk about them because hottest in the NBA, right? Suns, Kings, Clippers, Warriors, and yes, the Lakers. Every single team could possibly make some noise in the playoffs, depending on LeBron's injury. Here are the DraftKings odds. Which one of those teams is going to end up with the best record? Right now, the Kings have a 3-game lead over the Suns, but of course, Phoenix has just added KD, guys. So right now, DraftKings has the Suns as the favorite to win the division, and the Kings
They make
next.
+3. I'm going with Sac. They for real. I'm telling you, that young kid Fox and Sabonis, they ain't playing. If you go in the Sac on a back-to-back, them young boys gonna run by you.
Running you out the gym.
They gonna run by you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I like this
Yes.
team. At first, it took a while, but like I'm convinced that like Sacramento is a tough team, and they've been showing it consistently all year. And Mike Brown has really done a great job. And in my opinion, he's the coach of the year.
Yeah, tremendous job.
What do you think of your old team?
I think they're super talented. Young team, full of energy, full of excitement. You can tell they enjoy playing with one another. You can tell they have fun. As far as them being top in the division, I can see that happening because it is regular season. Basically, with regular season, the way you win regular season is consistency and playing hard.
Right.
Whatever team does that, they're going to be the top of the conference. But and health, obviously. But those three things they've done all year.
Yeah.
And I think they'll continue to do that. So I can see the Kings coming out the top of that division.
Yeah.
You were attached to Sacramento. I mean, I remember you. I mean, you literally bled for that city. You bled for that team. And I think sometimes when guys move on, especially if there's any controversy, people forget that a little bit. I mean, you played your heart out for those fans. So to see that team now doing well, to see the light, the beam, and the excitement and all of that, how does that feel for you?
It's dope. I'm just happy for the city and the fans because they really deserve it. Like that's an incredible fan base. They literally they're the definition of like sticking through it through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Cowbells ringing with 10 wins in the season. So, incredible fan base. They're more than deserving. So I'm excited for them. I'm excited to see where this team goes as well.
That's gonna be interesting.
And obviously, I'm a Fox fan. That's
Yeah.
Monk too. Those my UK brothers. So, it's dope to see them doing that.
That's what's up.
I mean, I know a lot of people think, oh, well, look, in the playoffs, we all know you got to be battle tested. And sometimes a team has to go through a first round loss to learn. But I still think that they could be dangerous in the playoffs for at least a round. No?
We'll see.
I think so.
The bench is shaky.
It depends on who they catch in the first round.
Yes. And we've got teams at the bottom of the West bracket who could potentially turn it on for the playoffs in a way that we have not seen in a long time. So we will see.
Like if they get Dallas, they'll pop Dallas.
You think so?
If they end up with like Golden State, I'm like, oh no, I'm scared.
They'll pop Dallas?
Yeah, Sac will. Yeah, Dallas don't play no defense.
Look at his face. Can we show his face?
They don't play no defense.
Guarding Luka.
Nobody.
So who's playing defense with Sac?
I know one thing. Dallas is not playing no defense.
I'm not.
Like,
and Sac can't outscore Dallas.
Yeah, they can. We gonna see. We gonna get back to
Sacramento just played a game worth the second most points in NBA history.
You didn't see they just scored 175 points.
That's cute.
76.
Show me one in the playoffs.
I mean,
show me somebody scoring 175 in the playoffs.
No, that ain't happening.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We'll see. Legendary Moments brought to you by Top Shot. The NBA Top Shot 50 is a list of the 50 players who defined the 2022-2023 season. See, I said that all very smoothly. I just want a little credit for that. This was voted on and chosen by the NBA Players Association. So this is what players think of their fellow players. They think these are the top 50, and they've been doing it in chunks. So here's the chunk they just released. LeBron, Giannis, Dame, DeMar, Jokic, Bam, Ant, Tyrese Halliburton, Fox, and Lauri Markkanen. So, Paul, that's 10 players. Who do you think has had the best moment highlight of the season? Just like the one moment that stands out.
That's easy. I mean, LeBron. Moment? I mean, he passed the all-time lead scorer. I mean, that's like hands down. Like, nobody thought that record would go. And I don't think nobody's ever going to pass Bron because he's going to push that up to about 40,000.
Yeah.
So you got to think about this. LeBron is in his 20th season. He averaging, so you got to average 28 for 20 seasons.
So Luka now, if you compare Luka, how long Luka's played so far with that same number of seasons into LeBron's career, Luka could break it. But Luka would have to play as long as LeBron does.
He don't have to win
and without
as much
the
as LeBron too.
health issues.
It's not just playing. It's winning as well. Because the winning extends the season.
He ain't gonna. His athleticism. Bron is one of the great athletes. So when Luka, think about Luka, only like what 24, and he not that athletic. So when he get about be like 30, he gonna be slower than he is now.
I love when y'all say Luka's not athletic.
He's not as athletic
as a person.
No, he's athletic, but he's not the athlete Bron is to maintain this for the next 15 years.
No, of course he is not the athlete LeBron is.
He's not gonna have he's gonna have a long prime, and let's say Luka prime lasts 14 years.
Right.
Not even the
Bron,
athleticism.
Bron is still prime
Just the-
numbers.
The discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The discipline
And the
is
work
different.
ethic.
Yeah, it's two
all of
different.
that. I don't see that.
Mhm.
It's more to it than just scoring baskets.
Yeah.
He gonna have to get off. He gonna have to get off that hookah. He gonna have to get off
Hookah
that.
Dongas can't score 40,000.
What are you talking about? He
That's
said,
not gonna work.
I really enjoyed his health plan earlier this season when he scored all those points, and then he said he needed a recovery beer. I could relate to finally a moment Luka Doncic had that I could relate to.
Yeah.
So, Boogie, who is your top moment? Do you agree that it was LeBron? Or
I agree with LeBron. That's a milestone that
Yeah.
we'll probably never see
Not in
again
my lifetime.
anytime soon. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, that's definitely the highlight of the year.
I can say I was in the building, and just that every basket he made, the energy just went up and up and up, and it felt like it was going to explode. I mean, I say everyone but Anthony Davis was on their feet, so I mean, it was quite a moment. We got to say to you, you can start your NBA Top Shot collection today at NBATopShot.com. Get closer than ever to the game and players you love. Sign up today.
Right now, we have the Wembanyama watch. Check it out.
Victor is going to be the top pick in this upcoming draft, barring, I don't know, an earthquake, avalanche, something. We are definitely going to sense right now of who's going to have the best chances to draft him, right? The season's coming to a close. So we got the Spurs guys, and this is historic in the Greg Popovich era. Greg Popovich has never had a team that's lost 8 in a row. As we sit here today, San Antonio has lost 16 in a row.
That's not from Pop.
Yeah.
That's coming from upstairs.
Yeah,
That's that Wembanyama watch.
Whoop,
That Wembanyama watch.
Exactly. Well, look, this is the team. David Robinson got hurt, right? They had a not good season, and you know what happened next
Turned into
year
Tim
is they
Duncan.
drafted Tim Duncan. So this is they've done this before.
Yeah.
They don't quite have that David Robinson.
No,
though.
to come back to.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I sure hope he don't go to Houston.
I was going to say, so
No,
where would you like to see him go? Because you've also got.
I want to see him go to Charlotte.
Well,
Truthfully.
that's what I'm saying. So Charlotte is now in a position where you've got LaMelo Ball fracturing his right ankle. He is out for the rest of the
Yeah, he'll be
season.
all right, though.
Right now they have but right now Charlotte has the 4th worst record in the league. But you got to think that may drop a little over the last
Yeah.
25 games. So they'll be in that group that could have really good lottery odds. I don't know. You've got Charlotte, Detroit, San Antonio, Houston. Where would you like to see Victor?
Well, from a fan standpoint
Yeah.
of the game, I would love to see him with Charlotte to, ball with LaMelo. I think
Man.
that combo would be very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would.
But if I'm the young kid and I'm thinking about myself in this situation, I see the Spurs as far as maximizing the potential and getting the best out of the situation. I would say San Antonio.
Because of the team or because you're
The
playing for a Hall of Fame
organization, the
coach?
team,
yeah,
the coach,
the culture.
the track record.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
if I'm a player coming in, and that's one thing a lot of young guys and just fans in general, they don't understand the importance of the organization
Right.
coming in. It can make or break your career.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So with that being said, from a
Yeah.
personal standpoint, I would want to see him with the Spurs.
What do you think of that? The idea that he'd be better off with
I mean, I
Pop
get
and that
what he's
team?
saying. But on the flip side, how much longer is Pop going to be there? Is that going to extend Pop's coaching? Because
That's true.
I don't know. They get
I
Victor.
got a sense that
they
Pop
get,
might
they,
be.
they get Victor. He might stay a little longer.
Yeah.
I got a sense that Pop might be wanting to step into a different role or just retire. He's been around a long time, and
I can see him stepping in a new role.
Yeah.
maybe go upstairs, like Brad Stevens or something, or just completely. He's got a lot of basketball in him, and
The
he's
young
one of the
fella will
greatest.
still be in good hands though with him
Yeah.
in front office.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I where he gonna get the most development
Mm-hmm.
and the most exciting is gonna be Charlotte.
For sure.
Charlotte.
Development,
Well, I mean, I don't know.
excitement for sure.
Excitement for
Development,
sure.
that's
Well, I think they're gonna let him go a little more, like let him make the mistakes.
that's true.
You know what
That's
I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I
true.
think when you in San Antonio and Pop, it's just you got to be just like
It's
this.
strictly winning basketball.
It's just like you
Yeah.
got to be a certain way, coat and tie. Over
Mhm.
here, they're gonna let you, do whatever, you're
Yeah.
gonna
It's
develop, make
Michael Jordan's
mistakes
team.
over there,
I get
and
it.
play through it.
I
You
get
know,
it. Yeah.
And if he does go to Houston,
nah, that's the wild west. They got too many
Yeah.
gunners over there. That's no discipline over there. I wouldn't want to go there if I'm him.
I think that'll just be a circulating door of players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if they look at this. They say they get Wembanyama, and then say James Harden come over there.
Mhm.
I just don't like the influences around that kid if he go there.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather have him around MJ. That type of influence.
What about Detroit?
Detroit
It's a
ain't
no-go?
bad. I mean,
Pair him up with the young kid, Cunningham.
yeah, they need him. They got an influx of guards. It's just a problem. Like when you go to a team with so many guys trying to prove themselves, and they don't understand like he's the future. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Right.
Like, and they gonna understand that in Charlotte because it's gonna be all right. Look, it's gonna be him and Ball.
Absolutely.
This is who we gonna play. Over there, they all going for contracts still, and it's all them guards. They're gonna be handling. They're gonna be freezing him out. Same way in Houston.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
What's Burnin' available every week on Showtime Basketball YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram and on TikTok at Show Basketball. We out.
We out.
Meanwhile, on Paramount Mountain.
Okay, we have the northern face, the southern face, and
The Sylvester Stallone face. Of course.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Is that Dad? Yeah.
No, don't sneeze.
Dear God, no.
Hold it.
hold it.
Don't do it. No. Ha! Gesundheit. Thank you. You're welcome.